Welcome to the Primo's Musings podcast.
Good morning. This is Shri here with the Day 5 recap of the Indian Wells. We had some of the greatest stars in both the men's and women's yesterday. Let me start off with Sinner, the Australian Open winner. He was in form against Struff from Germany, and Sinner looked as good as he's looked all last year, and he continued his form, just moving his opponent both sides of the court, heavy forehand, ripping his backhands down the line, just his agility, the way he was moving on the court, took an early lead, never gave it up. Struff had his moments, but Sinner was just too good for him. The same thing with Alcaraz against Felix. He was dominant throughout. I mean, the first set, they were at 2-all, and then Alcaraz just goes off, 4 in a row. And then I think he won the first 2 games in the second set as well. Same thing, the power hitting that Alcaraz displayed was incredible to watch. Felix was always with his back on the wall, and it was just a matter of time that Alcaraz put him away. Again, impressive wins for de Minaur, and I also watched the Tsitsipas Tiafoe. Tiafoe got into the hole early in the game, 3-love in the first set, and Tsitsipas just kept rolling after that. There were a lot of incredible points for Tiafoe and Tsitsipas, but that's where it stops for Tiafoe this time. I mean, he would have a great point and then lose the game. So the consistency is something that, he needs to work on. A lot of players do need to work on that, but I would say Tsitsipas looked as good as he can on the court. The one upset that we did see was Rublev losing to Lechka, 6-4, 6-4. Again, this was another game. I didn't get to watch the game, but just saw the highlights. That Rublev didn't really have his A game going in, but I'll give credit to his opponent. Zverev, tough win against Griekspoor. I mean, first set tiebreaker, but the second set he rolled. From an American standpoint, you had Shelton winning, very, very tough 3-setter against Cerundolo. So I think that's good for him. He moves on. But let's look forward to, and then let's look at the women's yesterday. Wozniacki, I think we already covered that. Paolini, and I think one upset was, Madison Keys falling to the Ukrainian. And Iga Swiatek continues her dominance. I mean, she continues against Noskova. First set was close. Second set was a bagel. But on the men's side, going to the men's side for today, we have Norrie and Monfils. That's a good matchup. Ruud and Musetti. Tommy Paul is on. Ruud is on, and Fritz is on as well. And then we have one matchup for Medvedev and Sebastian Korda, and Djokovic playing Nardi, and I think that should be easy for Djokovic. But from an American standpoint, you have Korda on, Fritz on, and Tommy Paul. So I'm kind of hoping that Americans make a huge run in this tournament with Tiafoe out. Let's see if these 3 guys can make any noise in the tournament. On the women's side of things, we do have, Coco Gauff, Dolehide, Sloane Stevens, and then Navarro as well. But the big matchup would be a battle of 2 ex-Grand Slam champions, Sabalenka, who recently won the Australian, Raducanu. So looking forward to that, and then Osaka as well. So And another interesting matchup would be Karen Garcia and Sakari. So looking forward to a lot of these matches. I mean, very interesting. Now we're in the round of 32. This is when the good players separate themselves from the others. So looking forward to the matches today. One thing I did notice is that a lot of these three setters. Let's see if they'll have any impact on some of the players. I mean, one thing I did see was Sinner, just like the Australian Open, continues his, the early rounds, and he never drops a set. You saw Alcaraz and Djokovic, drop sets. I mean, Medvedev has also been very clean so far. Something to note there, let's see how this, the more sets you play, the more tired you get. But it's just, these are just 3-set matches. So something to note as we move along in the pre-quarters and further along. So with that, we wrap up the day 5 of the Indian Wells Tennis Open, and see you tomorrow.